Hey guys, this is Julie and
Karen.
and we're here with Two Chicks Quilting to do a free sew along to make these fun boxed zipper bags. Now this is a project that Karen wrote the pattern for years ago. Actually, it was during COVID when we were trying to entertain everybody. So we were teaching them how to make fun, cute little projects, and this is something that she used to make out of a store-bought placemat, right? Yeah. So she kind of adapted it to make her own placemat to go ahead and make the box zipper bag. So I'm going to let Karen walk us through this, but before we get there, we want to talk about the fabric that we're using today. Here is what we're using today. She already has that kind of put together.
Don't go ahead.
No, I'm not going to go ahead. But I wanted to show y'all this fabric. This is one of our favorite designers. He is a local guy. He is from Port Lavaca, Texas, which is just right down the road from us, but he currently lives in New York City. But this is Billy Rue's fabric from architectural school. And what I like about this particular piece, this is a fat quarter. So here's your selvage on this end. It ombres to the darker side and all the pretty fun colors towards the center of the fabric, and then it goes back to this on the other end. So it really has a cool effect. And we love this line. It's called Architectural School. It's by Free Spirit. Billy Rue is the designer. So it is all on our website. We actually have the whole line. Yes. Too, right? Madison 1 and Log Tavern Road. So anyway, this is the fabric we're using today. There are also zipper bundles available in the comment sold shopping area. So you can go find those zipper bundles and shop in the comment sold shopping area. We will put a link to all of that in our video after we get done. We'll put some links down in the comments to get you to some of these products. But I just wanted to go over that. Now, Karen is using 2 fat quarters, a fat quarter size of batting, and a 22-inch zipper. Now, that bag's not 22 inches, so we're going to whack this zipper off. Don't worry.
Don't be scared.
14 inches is not long enough. So you do need that 22-inch zipper. I just uploaded the pattern. Let me show you what it looks like. And I hope you guys can see me and I'm not cut off. Karen and okay. So I uploaded Karen's pattern. It is in this group. If you go to the top under files and look for the box corner zipper bag pattern. You can print that out so you have all the directions. So don't worry about trying to write everything down while Karen's talking about it, because that printed pattern is there for you. You can just print it out and refer back to it anytime. We make these, everybody here makes these bags, or cons Karen into making them for us. But they're a great little gift item for Christmas. That's why we wanted to do it now, because you can get started on those gifts for Christmas with it. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen. She's going to go into the how-tos and what not tos and all of that good stuff. And we're going to make a box corner zipper bag.
Yay.
Okay.
I wanted to show you real quick. This was the one that we've made, and this is exactly like the pattern. It has the box corners. It's the same size as we show in the pattern how to do the box corners. But I was home a couple weeks ago, and yes, they do call me sassy. And so, of course, I didn't have the pattern at home. I didn't know the exact measurements of how I wanted to do my box corners. So this bag is a little different, and I'll tell you how it's different when we get to those corners. But the point I'm trying to make is you can make one exactly like the pattern says. Then you can adjust it to whatever you want to use it for. I like this squatty one because it has all my little supplies in it, and I can get to them very easily, and I have room for a lot more. So that's kind of why I like the squatty one. But we will show you how to make this one today. Julie said you need 2 fat quarters and the batting, and I went ahead and cut it down as to what the pattern says, and it's 15 by 18 and a half. So I cut, this is our outside, this is our lining, and this is our batting. What we're going to do is we're going to make our placemat first. So I'm going to go ahead and make a mess. I'm going to put my batting down first. Then I'm going to put my right side up.
Here, I'll help you, Karen.
Oh,
I'll
good.
assist.
You be my Vanna today.
I'm going to be Vanna today.
And you want your right sides together. So lay this on top of the right side of that beautiful fabric.
Making sure your
Everything matches
everything's
up.
straight. Yeah. That's what's hard when it's wanting to stick to the batting. Okay. I think I got it now.
Then we lay that on.
And of course your solid doesn't have a right or wrong side, but it is right sides together.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you. I would pin it or clip it all the way around. You're going to leave yourself a 3 to 4 inch opening so we can turn it right side out. I even go to the point sometimes of putting 2 different colored pins here so I know where to start and stop. You're going to sew it all the way around and turn it right side out. One of the things that I keep in my little bag is my
Point-to-point turner.
Point-to-point turner.
We also call it the corner poker outer.
Poker outer, yes. It helps you get those corners. And also, when you get it all the way stitched around, clip your corners. That will help you have a little bit better crisp corners.
Don't clip through your stitching, though.
Oh, no. To save time, I went ahead and turned it right side out. I also went ahead and quilted it for us. Now, I gotta tell you, that's my favorite stitch on Bernina as far as quick quilting, and that's a serpentine stitch. Now, those of you that are brother lovers, which I am also, I went ahead and looked at some of our brother machines, and even the lower end of the brothers, the 500, the 700, the 950, they all have that rope stitch. And what I like about that stitch, it covers a little bit more area, it's quick, and it gets the job done. If you wanted to do more dense quilting, Julie, you want to hand it to me?
Oh, yeah. I was looking.
If you want to do more dense quilting, then just turn it around and go the other way. One of the reasons why I went horizontal is this is how the bag is going to be. So it's going to go across the bag.
So one of the bags I have, that was a point I wanted to point out. One of the bags I have made, one of our first bags, I quilted this way. And so I had all these cut threads right here where my zipper is. And it just doesn't look pretty. So I suggest quilting it the short side to where this short end is good and clean. And Karen also stitched around the edges, and that's how she closed up that hole. I was even looking for her hole, and I couldn't find it. So, yeah, so she stitched around that whole edge, as you see, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge?
Yes.
And cleaned up that whole edge to get it good and flat.
And, it just goes very quick. One of the things that I've learned, and don't ask me how I learned it, but, you want to do your quilting first and then stitch around the edge. Right. Just in case your fabric moves a little bit.
Now, when you're quilting, it's a good idea to have a dual feed or your walking foot on, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can increase your stitch on the brother to 3. On the Bernina, I didn't increase the stitch. It just goes over just like butter.
But you could increase your stitch length a little bit. They can really see on the back the quilting really nicely because there's no stitch. Okay, we're back. Okay. We lost connection there for a second, Karen.
It's all right because I was probably just rambling anyway. So nothing lost. We're going to go ahead and do our zipper. Okay, y'all, I'm only going to tell you one time. Do not be afraid of the zippers. There's nothing to it. In fact, I'm not going to, because this is a little thick, I lay it right on top of the front side of the zipper. I'm not going to use a zipper clip. Now, I did bring one with our Bernina, and you have one on your brother as well. This is the zipper foot. And one thing about the zipper foot is you are going, those of you that have Berninas, you know how to move your needle over, and you would have to move the needle over to one side or the other, wherever you are putting your zipper foot. We're not going to mess with, no, watch, I'm going to start having problems, and then I'll put it on, but we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to have my right side out.
You dropped your zipper?
Of course I did.
Down by the... And I'm going to try to zoom in, y'all, and get up close so you can see what she's doing.
I'm going to open my zipper just a little bit. I'm going to put the edge of the zipper outside my sewing area, about 2 inches. This is one of the reasons why we do a 22 inch. I'm going to point out the other reason in just a minute. I'm going to slide that zipper down just a little bit.
Can see. There you go.
Okay. Then I'm going to put the finished edge of my bag right on this crease where the zipper is. They see that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and put a pin there. Now, if you're new to this, and you could go ahead and clip or pin all the way. I'm not going to do that.
Because she's a professional.
Semi-trained. Okay, so
let me pull it just a little bit. There we go. So see how she has that? Let me set this down. Y'all, I'm such a professional videographer.
Yeah.
So see how she's lining that up? Right with the edge of that zipper. You don't want to get over those teeth, but right up next to it. Okay.
Let me talk about the zippers a minute. I'm one of those that I like to have a coordinating zipper. I don't want to match it. And in fact, I keep a box of different colored zippers at home.
Okay. Let's see if that's better. Nancy, let me know if that is better. I switched to Wi-Fi. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Okay.
We're going to go?
We're going to go. We have connection.
And I went ahead and did a couple clips. So I'm going to go ahead and put it underneath my presser foot, making sure that my zipper lines up.
Let me see if I can get in there.
And I know on my Bernina, I can just go ahead and put on the gas and it'll go. But I'm going to go ahead and put my presser foot down so I know I'm lined up. Then I'm going to go ahead and stitch. Only you want to make sure that your needle is threaded first.
Oh, pause.
And of course, I have to have a little bit of...
I'm going to take the phone out of the... Maybe shaky for a second. Are you ready now?
Well, I am now. Y'all know that I have to have a little drama no matter what I do. So, we're going to try this again. I'm going to get as close to that, and actually it's ending up that I'm on my top stitching, which is great.
So that kind of camouflages this stitch because you're right on top of that previous line you stitched.
Yep. Somebody has this machine on hover. I won't mention any names.
I love my hover.
Now I'm getting to my zipper foot or zipper tab. I can't get over it, so all I'm going to do is leave my needle down, lift my presser foot up, pull my tab up, and continue.
Now it's out of the way.
Out of the way. And y'all can see this foot, this all-purpose foot.
We have a question. Do you move your needle over since you're not using the zipper foot?
No.
It's in the center, Edith.
In the center. I'm going to go all the way off that zipper. I do not need to backstitch. Cut my thread.
Let me show them. So ta-da, that's one side.
One side. Now, this is why we need our 22 inch. I'm not cutting, I'm not modifying my zipper at all yet. I'm going to open my zipper all the way, put my pull all the way down at the bottom. I'm going to still stay where I put the...
I'm coming this way.
Okay. So I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to go ahead and close my zipper so I can line up the other side. And I'm going to line it up the best I can. If you do not get it lined up, we can adjust it when we sew our bag together. So
it's best to lay it flat and get it good and lined up.
Lay it flat. I'm going to go ahead and clip that. I'm going to check it again to make sure that I'm lined up. I'm a little off. There we go. Now, I'm going to open my zipper all the way. I'm going to go ahead and clip it all the way down. I didn't bring me enough clips.
She just only brought 2 clips.
I'm checking that again, and it lines up pretty good. So I'm going to open it, and I'm going to start at this end. As you can see, we don't cut the zipper, we keep it intact. But with that long zipper, I can get everything out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and
get caught on your table.
Yeah.
Here, I'll hold it till you get started.
You're going to do that every time I make a bag.
No.
I'm going to put my foot down and off to the races.
Now, Karen, if you wanted to do embroidery, would you do that before or after the zipper?
Thank you. I would do embroidery before I put the zipper in.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
I just thought about it.
I did too. Now, I have done embroidery when I had the zipper in, and trust me, you don't want to do that. It is doable, but it's not the favorite thing to do.
So again, she's right on top of that original stitch line, so it's just camouflaged in where she's stitching that zipper. There you go.
Now, because I do tend to be extra, and it's not in the pattern, but I go ahead and flip it over, and you see where you've got this flap of your zipper? I like it to look a little bit more
finished.
Thank you. I was going to say more nicer.
More nicer.
Yeah, I was not an English teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and run a top stitch on that.
And it keeps that flap from getting up and getting in your way when you're unzipping and zipping your bag.
You just try to keep everything out of the way. And again, with that long zipper, it's not difficult to do that. Let's go ahead and get the other side real quick.
So there it is up close, how she's just going down the side of that zipper, and that just secures that from moving, from flipping up on you. Because if you don't, this zipper, it flops around and sometimes can get stuck in your zipper when you're trying to zip your bag.
One of the things I was going to tell you about embroidery, we're going to pretend the zipper's not on there. Your bag is going to be this way, and it's going to box on the bottom, and it's going to box on the top. But to find your center, just fold it in half, and you can find your center and put your name right here, or put your nickname.
Hand me your sassy bag. So she actually stitched her nickname on both sides.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm extra.
But remember, when you're doing that, not to do one upside down.
Yes.
You have to pay attention.
Yes. You do. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and close our zipper. And we're going to turn it wrong side out. Yeah, we're almost done. When Julie says that this is an easy thing to do, she's not fibbing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, usually I just eyeball this. I want to get that zipper in the center. And you could measure.
You could. That would be perfect.
That would be the smart thing to do.
That would be the smart thing to do. We don't always do it the smart way.
And we don't. But that looks good to me.
Now, most important thing here is where should that zipper pull be when you're doing this?
Very good. Y'all, look. See where that zipper pull is? You cut that zipper off now.
You have no pull.
You have no pull. You have wrecked your project. Rip. A new zipper. So it needs to be inside your bag. Just think of it that way. We know that our ending of our zipper is on the outside of our bag. Put it on the inside. So I'm going to take my 2 clips and I do not have a 1/4 inch foot on here. I'm going to move my needle over 3. And that gives us a 1/4 inch. And I am going to move the edge of my fabric just a little bit past that 1/4 inch. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just move my needle twice. I am going to back.
Approximately a 1/4 inch. It doesn't have to be exact.
Right. The reason why I leave that zipper almost closed is so I can keep it together. I'm going to back stitch over that zipper. And then finish going across.
And you're back stitching on each end.
And I'm back stitching on each end. That's not a real big issue if you forget because you're going to be cutting that corner off anyway.
Okay, so let me show a good. So there we are. Have little thread tails there. Don't worry about that. But see where her zipper is? That zipper pull is inside that bag. Okay?
Now, this is important. Come in the inside of your bag and pull your zipper, open it up. Again, do not put it down here. You're going to lose your pull.
But half to three-quarters way down, you want that zipper open.
Why?
Because that's how you turn it right side out.
That's right. And if you leave it up here, you can figure out how to get that zipper open. It's a little struggle. Trust me.
So now are you going to measure that side? Yes, you would measure that side.
Measure that side? What?
Yes, there is a little handle on this one. Sylvia, see how it is on the end?
Oh yeah, and we're going to make the handle in just a minute. The handle's going to go in after you box your corners. Just a minute. Technical difficulty. I think that a project is not complete until you have issues with something on your machine.
So was our bobbin unthreaded?
Probably so.
Well, at least you didn't run out of bobbin.
I know.
Y'all know that we're just as real as it can be here.
Well, and I am true to monitoring and adjusting. You have to do what you have to do. I'm going to back stitch over that zipper.
And you do that just to give it a little more secure, make it a little more secure.
Yes.
Because that's going to get a lot of pulling and use right there. So now here's what we have. Okay. So our zippers pull still here in the middle. We have both ends all stitched up.
I normally would have done this handle at the beginning. Forgot. This is cut 2.5 inches by 22 inches. This is extra of what you cut off. You could use your outside for your handle if you just wanted your handle to blend in. I like to use the lining just because I like that contrasting look. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half like we would if we were preparing binding. I gotta stand up. And this is more than enough, this one strip, for 2 handles. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold one side to the middle and press it.
Sylvia said, cute iron, Karen. That is our Olicio project iron. They actually come in multiple colors. I have a turquoise one.
I have a pink one.
They are on our website.
And they're a must-have. I thought I could do, because I spend so much time here, I thought I could do without having one at home. No.
And it does come with that little trivet. So
yes.
It can just sit on I leave mine sitting on my wool mat. And oh, I have purple too, Autumn said.
And as you can see, I'm not being very exact about this, and it's okay. Now I'm just going to press it together.
Cindy Witcher said she needs a turquoise one for sure. Karen will hook you up, Cindy.
I'll hook you up, Cindy. And even though I'm not real active in Uber quilting anymore where I deliver, but I'll deliver.
Cindy and Karen are really good friends.
Okay, Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to
putting your batting in that?
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. Yes. Now, if we didn't put batting in it, in fact, this one didn't get batting.
See, this one's a little...
It's a little floppy.
Floppy. Where's our other one? Oh, you threw it on the floor.
Oh. Yeah, that got batting.
The difference. See, this one has batting in it, so it's makes it a little thicker. Sorry, my voice.
Okay, now we're going to press it again.
So your batting is cut a little smaller, correct?
Yes.
And that's all in your pattern?
Yes.
No, it is not fusible batting, Sylvia. It is just scrap 80-20 batting. And that's what we used in our quilt sandwich as well.
Now, I will tell you my sassy one, because I had a scrap of fusible batting at home. That's fusible batting, but it didn't get in the handle. Now, you can figure out on your foot where you need to put it. It's just about 1/8.
So this is top stitching, so you're stitching very close to the edge.
Yep, and I do the open side first. And again, I didn't take, it's not perfect. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, because she's kind of hurrying for the camera.
Now, I'm not going to cut the thread. All I'm going to do is lift my foot, turn it around, pull a little bit on that thread, and do the other side. Now, I do have a place on my foot that I look because I know that it works for me, and you just have to experiment.
So if you wanted to give it an actual little fun decorative look, you could use a decorative stitch in the middle.
You could.
But we're just going to do a straight stitch. Or are you putting anything in the middle?
Okay. Let me show you that little serpentine.
Karen's going to go off script, y'all.
Oh, sorry. It's your fault.
Make sure you got it skinny enough.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the problem. And I'm taking too much time to find it, so we're not going to do it.
Never mind.
I would know exactly where it was on my machine.
Okay, so now she's just going to do a straight stitch down the middle. But a decorative stitch would be fun there.
Oh, that would be cute.
And if you played with that serpentine stitch, if you used that in your quilting, that would be cute running down that center.
Yep. Okay.
And if the thread matches, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because it just blends right in.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm using my Karen K Buckleys because they are so nice and sharp and they can handle thicknesses. I'm going to make sure that where I see my zipper pull, and I'm going to cut off the zipper.
Even with the edge of your bag?
Yes, kind of. And then I'm going to cut this one off. Don't be scared to cut your zipper.
And those Karen K Buckleys will cut it no problem.
Yep.
My Karen K Buckleys cut a dog's cast off his foot, so.
Okay, so now we're going to box our corners. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand inside my bag.
Now we're going to show you 2 ways to box your corners. We're going to do it different on each end, but Karen's going to show you her little simple way that is talked about in the pattern.
Yeah. Now, any inch that you're going to go from the corner, I'm going to come in 1.5 inches and draw my line. Know that whatever you measure, it's going to be doubled. If you just wanted a smaller bag, then you would go 1 inch in.
So when you're doing 1.5 inches, what she's telling you is this corner is going to end up being 3 inches deep.
Yes.
If you did 2 inches like she did on her bag, it ends up being 4 inches deep. So that affects your bag depth, which will then affect, if you see here, your bag width. So notice this one's skinnier because it's taller.
Yes. So you can use your favorite.
You can use a friction pin.
Anything you want.
She has her Fons and Porter charcoal pin, which works really well.
Okay.
And it works on any color fabric is what I like about that. Even black. She's putting a pin there to hold that in place while she goes to the machine.
And I probably should have drawn it on this side. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and draw it
Now,
again.
do you have to...
What?
When do you put your handle in?
Patience, grasshopper.
Oh. Okay.
I'm going to draw it again because I want to sew on this side.
Well, don't you got to put the handle in before you sew?
Normal people would. I'm going to show you how I do it.
Oh, okay. See, I tell y'all, we are
yin and yang. And
Nancy, she's freaking me out.
I'm going to do 1.5 on this side.
She's showing you Karen's way. And then we're going to show you Julie's way.
Well,
because we both have to win.
And also, that's in my way. In the pattern, it shows this way because I wrote the pattern. So, of course, it's my way. Okay. I am going to not do the handle yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my stitching on my line. I'm going to back stitch. When I get to just about that seam, I'm going to lift up my needle, lift up my presser foot. I'm going to hop over that seam. I'm leaving a hole.
Oh.
You got it, grasshopper?
I got it. Y'all see how she treats me.
We love each other.
So you left a gap.
I left a gap. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my other side.
Okay. I'm going to stay right here so they can see.
Yep. One thing you cannot say when you get finished watching us is you can't say you weren't entertained.
That's right. We're here all day long.
Mm-hmm. And we will repeat shows. You come in, we'll entertain you. Oh, I backstitched. I didn't have to. That was just because I was busy talking. Lift up, hop over, put my press foot down.
Tammy said she loves how you call me Grasshopper. So that's how she got the name Sassy, because she's so sassy.
And I really feel it's my duty to live up to that name every day. So now, you can take your little ruler and you can measure 1/4 inch. I just eyeball it. And I am going back to my Karen K. Buckley's. And I am going to, because this is very thick, especially when you get to that seam, I'm going to trim off my corner.
Look how those Karen K. Buckleys just cut through like butter.
Like butter. Okay, so where I get Patience, Grasshopper, that's from an old movie. And so that's the only reason that came in my head. So I'm going to cut that. And we're ready for our handle. I'm going to go, you don't have to cut this in half. And you're not going to use all this handle. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to find where I did my hopping of that stitch. And I probably have a sour lemon look on my face. It's just a determination look.
Just pull that handle through there.
Pull my handle through.
And you got plenty of room to pull a little bit of extra through so you don't lose it.
I just use a little extra and I go back. I want to be on the side. I just like seeing that heavy seam, so with the Bernina, you don't have to worry about easing your foot over that. But with the Brother or any other machine, you might have to. So I like to see what I'm up against. And not only do you have that seam, you have the handle.
That's a lot of thickness.
A lot of thickness. Yeah, and something happened.
You lost your thread?
Yep.
She just did a boo-boo.
I did a boo-boo, and you weren't supposed to get it on camera.
Anybody can tell me what Karen just did that is a big no-no if you've been in any of my machine classes?
Which we're having another machine class this afternoon, and she's going to make me attend it.
She pulled that thread out backwards. No, no.
No, no.
Now tell Billy on you.
Y'all, I was in a hurry. And of course, anything that could have happened with this machine, it's going to happen when we're on.
Do you want me to turn your hover off while you're doing that?
I'm all right.
Okay. Her needle came unthreaded.
Yes. So now,
let's do that again.
We're going to
take two.
We're going to go back. That's good enough. Now we're going to the other side. Find my hole. Yeah, and I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this.
You could even put like a little safety pin on the end of it if it helps you push it through that spot.
Okay, as you can see on this one, I made it pretty snug. On this one, it's pretty snug too. But I am just feeling it, and I just have it going across.
Make sure it doesn't get twisted in there.
Yep. And you can even look that it's not twisted, and it's about how I want it. As you can see, if I were to pull it, you don't want to do that. You just want it even with your end. So let's see if
we can stitch up that hole.
We stitch up that hole without having issues. And y'all, normally I don't have these issues. It's just,
of course it's because I'm videoing you.
It is.
Now, would you suggest possibly sewing over this part twice, like you did the zipper?
That is probably a good idea. And I'm not going to right now.
But it would secure that handle a little more, especially if you pull on a handle a whole lot.
And if you're going to load your bag up. So now I'm just going to go ahead and trim my handle. We're not going to take the time right now, but what I would do now is I would zigzag the edges of this.
And that would finish it off.
It would finish it off. So now, I'm going to show you a different
method to box your bottom.
Yep, and it's just as quick.
No, you're going to cut.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. Keep you focused.
Okay, so we're still going to do 1.5. And all I'm going to do is measure 1.5 from the stitch line, which is right here. So I'm going to go 1.5. That's my half. Here's my 1. Right, Julie? Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 to right there.
Oh, here's 1. No. Yeah. Right here.
Those rulers that have that extra 1/2 inch kind of mess you up sometimes.
They do.
Okay, so now you're going to... Yeah,
now I'm going to draw the line.
make sure that's straight.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're just going to measure up, and the reason she's measuring from the stitch line is because when she boxed over here, you had that stitch line accounted for that, right?
And usually you don't have all these obstacles because you can spread it out in your sewing room. Now, Karen K. Buckley's getting her workout today. All we're going to do is cut that corner.
So this is just an option. Some people don't like to do the other way, and so this gives you an option of how you do that. Try not to cut outside of that square, so.
Yes. One of the plus sides to doing it this way is we can stick our handle in there. Now all we're going to do is pull it apart.
Make sure you center that seam.
Center the seam. And we can stick our handle in there, in the middle. Let me use a pin right here so it'll hold this. And then I'm going to stick my handle in there. Stick another pin in there. And now I can stitch it. Remember, you got a lot to go through.
Cindy Savino said that's so much less bulk. You're a genius. Cindy, you know she thinks she's a genius anyway, so don't encourage her.
I know.
She is. She is a genius.
Good thing I'm not wearing a cap. My head was swell. Because that went over with no problems, I'm not going over it again. We're just going to leave it at that. Now, let's go ahead and get our other side. I'm going to go ahead and stick a pin in. Get my handle. Make sure it's not twisted.
Now, why do we keep pointing out that? Because we've probably twisted our handle a time or two.
And I just say that it's a design choice. Twisted handle. Now we're going to go ahead and stitch it. And if you wanted to, you could even open that seam up. We haven't done that yet, so we're not going to do it now.
Yeah, if you were needing to distribute that bulk just a little bit more.
And it kind of moved on me, and that's okay. Cut that handle off. And again, you might want, you come back and run a zigzag stitch so you can make that inside pretty. We're not going to do that today. I'm going to go ahead and we should have a aha voila moment.
Look at that.
And because it's thick enough, I don't think you need to use the pointer outer. You should be able to point it.
This is why you need your zipper open.
Yes. You would have had my sour lemon look very big.
She's going to hide it under the table from y'all.
Well,
okay.
let me pull the corners.
There. Yeah. Corners got poked.
Well,
in.
we need the poker outer.
Yeah, poke our corners out, Karen. That is really cute. And I would, if I was going to embroider this one, I would embroider it on that side with a hot pink or not orange because it would blend in, but or a purple. Purple would be, since you have your purple lining.
Right.
Or if you really want to stand out, like lime green.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know that's my favorite color, right? Yes, Margaret, this is being recorded. We are live, but this video is up on our Friends of Two Chicks Quilting and will be also loaded on our YouTube channel. Look how pretty that is. Okay. I'm going to sit it down so I can...
Let me show y'all. You can't tell the difference between the two techniques of corners that we did. And so either option works good. I also want to show you the difference of the sizes of the bags. This was where we measured in 2 inches. This is where we measured 2.5. You see how you, or 1.5, excuse me, 1.5. You see how it appears wider? Now, if you did the volume of both bags, the volume is going to be the same. It's just dispersed differently. I kind of look at a pattern as when I look at a brand new recipe. I make that recipe just how the recipe tells me to. Then, oh, I didn't like this. I like more salt. You can use this pattern as a guide. And then, oh, I need a bag just for this. I want to make it smaller. Well, make your placemat a little smaller. You have all kinds of options. But what we hope that we showed you today is that do not be afraid of these type of corners. Easy peasy. Do not be afraid of a zipper. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to show you I can put this zipper in without a zipper foot, and I have done it on a brother as well. And so it shouldn't intimidate you anymore. But this is our bag, girls.
Great job, Karen. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And again, you can find that pattern in the files section of the Friends of Two Chicks Quilting group. So that is our tutorial. It will be on here forever. And then also, as well as on our YouTube channel. Kathy Merck wants to know, do you embroidery before the quilt, before you quilt the two pieces? So you get your piece quilted and top stitched around the edge, and then you embroidery, Kathy. And pay attention when you're embroidering, because remember you're folding that in half. So Karen says, fold it in half, find your center, put your embroidery there. But if you're going to do it on both sides, remember, keep it folded in half, and remember that's your top where that zipper is going to go, so that you stay right side up on both sides. Okay, well, we're going to get out of here and get back to work. We'll see you guys later. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.